Okay. Alright. So here we are. I've started the stream, and I hope we can chit chat and talk, and I don't know. Uh, you know, nobody's in here, so I'm gonna say hi to myself in the chat. Hey, yeah, nobody ever cares. Alright, so I don't know if anybody's gonna see this. I made a list of topics. Again, I'm only streaming so I can practice streaming so that I get good at streaming. Does this make sense to you? Hope it does. Well, before we go anywhere, I want to put this up. So, here we are. Okay, for those who didn't get my telepathic message, please click on the QR code or scan it, whatever you have to do, and buy me some coffee. We're trying to turn this into a professional operation or an actual cult. Bye! Alright, so yeah, if you have the opportunity to send me a couple bucks so that I can feed my starving children, my imaginary chihuahua, and the aliens who live in my brain, then I will love you. But yeah, please help support this channel and yada yada. Your donations will help feed a starving child who otherwise would die of proper nutrition. But with your money, I can make sure the starving child becomes super obese American style. Okay, so now that I'm saying babbling nonsense, let's grab the bull by the horns. Yeah. Let's talk about our martyr du jour, Charlie Kirk. Nobody should be a martyr du jour, but unfortunately, he took a bullet for free speech, which is weird. Weird because, you know, people on the left are like shitting on him. People on the right are canonizing him. But at the same time, they want to skewer every asshat who says something stupid because Charlie Kirk died. And I don't know how to feel about it. There's a part of me that feels, good for they deserve all the consequences and cancellations because they cancel people. I'm itching myself. My back is scratching me. I bathe every day. Maybe I'm not rinsing the soap off my body, but I'm itching. This has nothing to do with good old poor Charles Kirk and little Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's been now is he being canceled for his political opinions? Is he canceled for what he said? Should he be? I don't know. I mean, the difference is, I think, is in scale. I mean, Charlie got killed. Jimmy is just getting pulled off the air. But I don't believe people should be silenced. We have to learn to disagree with each other and go to sleep and just be happy. I don't know. It's like, I remember when I was a kid, my dad would always tell me, there's 3 things you never talk about in American society: sex, money, and politics. Then the 80s happened and we started talking about money. What was happening when he told me that? And then people always talked about sex, and now people talk about politics constantly, but we don't know how to talk about these things without being jerks. Disagreement means I don't know where to go. Like, when everybody was talking how, like, killing, oh, no, disagreeing with somebody means you're killing them. Silence is violence. Oppositional speech is violence. disagreeing with somebody is violence, then violence is violence. Answering violence with violence is violently good. And so you get, people thinking it's cool or okay to kill politicians, public speakers, crappy CEOs, just because they say shit you don't agree with. And that's poor Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe not so poor Jimmy Kimmel. Who knows? I mean, he made fun of a lot of people too. I remember he inserted his nose in the whole Conan O'Brien versus Jay Leno shit. I still don't know which. I'm a diehard Conan fan, but the networks kind of fucked him over by keeping Jay Leno and just moving him earlier. It was stupid. I don't know. Now let's talk about a degenerate. Charlie Sheen. Saw the Netflix documentary and yeah, he's disgusting. I mean, ironically, there's a time I probably would have I did role model my life after him. Chasing women, partying hard. Never partied as hard as him. Thank God. I mean, I think it's like it's a miracle he has a nose in his face and that his privates haven't fallen off. With all the drugs and rock and roll, partying, and we can, But then, who knows? I don't know. So that's from Charlie, Kurt, Jimmy Kimmel to Charlie Sheen. It's like three things that absolutely have nothing to do with Melodies and Monsters. But somehow they got into the global dialogue, and they even got into the dialogue between two dungeon tubers, Grim Jim from the UK and Dungeons and Diversity from the good old USA. And I kind of don't like either one of them. I mean, they're good. They comment on their stuff, and it's just I felt sometimes Grim Jim, especially on his political stuff, talks down to people, especially Americans. And I'm very susceptible to hating that. Growing up in France, I had to put up with that crap from the moment my mom decided to move there till I moved. Like 13 years of my life. And every time I'd visit, same kind of shit. I just do something stupid. Oh, I didn't know, I don't follow politics. That's not true, but... So here we have, the king of the conservative grognards, Dungeons and Diversity, and, the self-confessed leftist Grim Jim. You know what those two guys need to do? They need to play together live. I have like 4 sessions. 2 will be DM'd by Grim Jim with, Dungeons and Diversity and as a player, and flip it around. 2 sessions with the other one, and they can both bring their guests, their buddies. I'd like to see that. That'd be more entertaining. Hash it out like men with dice and imaginary swords and miniatures on a map. That'd be rad. Ugh. Well, oh yeah. So 2 things have been trotting in my head lately because it's gonna be the high holidays for people who are on the Judeo-Hebrew spectrum. You may celebrate or rather self-reflect around this time of the year and try to figure out, how can I be a better human, a better servant of God if you're so inclined. But I think it's a good thing to self-reflect, and I just thought of like, a lot of games, certain character classes or characters in general may have to atone. But what does that mean in the game? What does it mean to play make-believe character who is in the process? Pardon me, I was getting close to my bedtime. In the process of being a better person, of letting go of something bad. But then it was dawned on me that that's a relative in Dungeons and Dragons or TTRPGs that is kind of abstract. I mean, a lot of players will have chaotic or even evil, gods, patrons, yada yada, that they have to interact with. And then, when that thought popped in my head, I was just kind of thinking about it. And then another thing it's been trotting in my head a long time is like most settings, like whether it's good old-fashioned classic D&D or something like, Dungeon Crawl's Classic, just staring at me on my shelf, or any other system. There's this implied kind of polytheistic world with maybe, either a conflict between law and order, a conflict with good and evil, or law and order and good and evil in Dungeons and Dragons, and they don't always overlap. So you have lawful evil and chaotic good and chaotic evil and lawful good and blah 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 blah. But you have all these things, but and all this implied polytheism. But if you look at the source, the OG kind of creative impulse for fantasy literature, at least definitely the guys who went from kind of children's fairy tales and folk tales into set the archetype of modern fantasy literature, and that's Mr. Tolkien. Well, he's more of a monotheist. He's definitely a devout Catholic. His whole setting is kind of implied. I mean, you have Sauron, and before him, I'm not a big Tolkien expert, so my brain is blah. But basically, you have this original god who creates everything, and then he creates the Valar, and the Valar are kind of god-ish, but they're really angels, the way I understand it. And then you have one angel who decides to, when they're all playing harmony and blah blah blah, he's like, no, screw you, I'm gonna do some jazz. I'm gonna do my own riffs. I'm gonna play over you, whether you like it or not. And that's the beginning of evil. And again, it parallels the apocryphy of Satan who fell from heaven, yada yada yada. But I'm really thinking, how do we go from something that is created by a monotheist, that is rooted in kind of Judeo-Christian monotheism, to something that kind of reflects more maybe of a Hellenic view, or kind of a Germanic pantheon? And then you get these weird things where dwarves believe I read somewhere, I can't remember the source, that all dwarves think that Moradin is really the creator of everything, which implies a monotheism within the polytheistic framework. But still, I don't know, I find it, as a person who believes in kind of, I guess, a monotheistic framework in the real world. And no, I used to be card-carrying, God delusion reading non-theist or atheist. We're going to say now, life is a had a funny way of converting me. Better than any preacher, shaman, rabbi, monk could ever have. And I don't really, so thinking about that and having that kind of worldview, sometimes I'm bothered. I think even the OG Satanic Panic is kind of rooted in Dungeons & Dragons polytheism. Yes, there's devils and magic and witchcraft, but on top of that, there's alternate gods. You know. Then you could argue that the arch-god Owl, which is, for the Forgotten Realms, I believe, and or is he for Greyhawk? I don't know. Or both. Either way, is Alpha Omega is the god of as we understand it. But still, it's kind of uncomfortable. And do I want this? Would I play a game that's explicitly monotheistic? And what would that mean? I mean, what does it mean, like, do you do it like the Force in Star Wars, where there's the Force, which the Jedi is kind of worship, and then it has its dark side, which the Sith use, where the Jedi seeks to attune themselves to the will of the Force, the Sith seek to impose their will upon that spiritual entity. So I have only a Fitbit. For some reason I can get email forwarded to my Fitbit, which, besides the fact that it forces my eyes to squint and try to use my bifocals, they're supposed to be bifocals, and it never works. I'm sorry, I'm having arthritic pain right now. But yeah, being that, yeah, we're talking about monotheism in D&D or fantasy RPGs, and that even I'm thinking about George R. R. Martin. It's the old gods and the seven. Why not the one? Do fantasy authors and fantasy game creators shy from monotheistic themes? I remember the original Zelda. Link had a cross on his shield, and apparently in the Japanese instruction manual, you see him pray in front of a crucifix, Christian altar, blah blah blah. And slowly, Christian imagery got pulled out, and it became more about the whole Triforce as opposed to Trinity. Now, I'm not a Catholic or Christian Trinitarian. I'm more. Hold on, somebody's at my door. I'm on the line, on the microphone. Oh, okay, well, somebody's going to come in with my daughter. She has whipped cream on her nose.
Dad, just stop.
And yes, we are live on the internet. And she's mortified that I said that. You going to sit in the chair?
I'm good.
Your phone still doesn't work. No, you can't have my phone.
Why?
Well, should I give my daughter my phone? Now, I'm pretty sure nobody's online, so that's just...
Am I going to show my ass?
You know, that's going to be online for eternity, right? Because this is being recorded, too. So not only it's going to be live, but then it stays on the videos I recorded. So not only you cussed, which I'm trying to get you to do less, but, you got saved that for posterity here. So, what do you have to say?
Lick my balls.
Lick my balls. This is who my daughter has become. Come on, Avalon. This is embarrassing. This is how I'm raising you? You are live on the internet right now. You teachers could see this. Well, I'm going to send them the link. How?
Are you blackmailing me or threatening me?
Both. I'm threatening to send you the link, sending a link. That is blackmail. It's something we talk about a lot. The difference between blackmail and just threats. See? So I have information on you that I can give out to somebody else. That's blackmail. What are you doing? You're gonna break it. Don't fucking sit on that chair. Don't put your foot on it like that. Avalon, don't make any weird noises, please. This is not cute. This is not funny.
Well, I'm bored.
Avalon, there's no reason you have to be bored. You have a TV in your room. You have a Switch. I need those lights on. It's not my job to entertain you. I'm sorry. I would like you to leave now.
Bye.
I will talk to you about about you using your bad words. Don't roll your eyes up like that. And this is how you fail at parenting. All right. All discussions about monotheism, current events, feuds due to current events between dungeon tubers, etc. Well, that's gonna wrap. Thank you again. Don't forget to buy me coffee. Subscribe. Yeah. And that's it. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye bye.